Want to get this briefing by email? Here's the sign up. Good evening. Here's the latest. Aaron P. Bernstein. Reuters 1. Republicans in Congress are pushing ahead with their efforts to get a sweeping tax bill onto President Trump's desk by Christmas. The Senate unveiled a bill that delays a big corporate tax cut until 2019 and keeps several valuable deductions, but completely eliminates the one for state and local taxes. The House and Senate proposals diverge on important provisions that will be challenging for lawmakers to rectify in the coming weeks, in part because of competing political priorities facing members in each chamber. Above, Senator John Cornyn, Republican of Texas, after a meeting on the tax plan, Doug Mills, The New York Times 2. "You're a very special man," President Trump told President Xi Jinping at a news conference in Beijing, showing uncharacteristic deference on a state visit that has been heavier on ceremony than tangible results. Mr. Trump may hope that cultivating a personal connection with Mr. Xi will help push him on North Korea and trade, but so far, the Chinese have made no significant concessions. Here are photographs from Mr. Trump's tour so far. He heads to Vietnam next, where he may meet President Vladimir Putin of Russia on the sidelines of an economics meeting. Mike Cohen for The New York Times 3. We're reconfiguring DealBook, our finance blog, to focus on the intersection of business and policy. Sign up for the newsletter here. We interviewed top American executives at the annual DealBook conference. Speaking publicly for the first time since he became the head of Uber, Dara Khosrowshahi, above, said he was working hard to change the company in light of the scandals that led to his predecessor's ouster. And Randall Stevenson, head of AT, said selling CNN in order to push through his company's acquisition of Time Warner is off the table. Gerald Herbert, Associated Press 4. The Federal Emergency Management Agency is finalizing extraordinary plans to fly about 3,000 residents of Puerto Rico still living in shelters to New York and Florida. There is still little lodging available on the island, and the authorities are facing questions about the death toll. The official number is 55, but statistics show that 472 more people died this September compared with the same month last year. With temperatures exceeding 90, the lack of power hit the elderly particularly hard. Hiroko Masuoka, The New York Times 5. Today on our podcast The Daily, we talk to Stephen Bannon, the president's former strategist, about this week's election in Virginia. The results of the vote were widely portrayed as a rejection of President Trump. But Mr. Bannon, above at our headquarters, says that's all wrong. The New York Times 6. Sexual harassment accusations continue to upend careers. 5 women told our reporters of UAL misconduct by the comedian Louis C.K. above that involved masturbation. The premiere of his new was abruptly cancelled. Roy S. Moore, the Republican nominee for Senate in Alabama, was accused of making UAL advances toward teenage girls in the 70s and 80s. Republicans moved en masse to distance themselves. We're hosting a Times talk about exposing male abuses of power tonight. The reporters behind our coverage of the accusations against Harvey Weinstein, Bill O'Reilly and prominent men in tech will answer questions from readers. The discussion will also be on our Facebook page 7 to 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Leah Francis 7. This week's Times Magazine is the tech design issue, and it's entirely devoted to one subject: our driverless future. We imagined what the world would look like when autonomous cars carry us wherever we need to go. How would street signs change? What would we do with all that new free time? What about speeding tickets, or in-cars roadkill? Above, the past. Nicola Dove, 20th Century Fox 8. A new film adaptation of the Agatha Christie novel Murder on the Orient Express arrives in theater Friday, with the starriest of casts, including Johnny Depp, Michelle Pfeiffer, Penelope Cruz and Judi Dench, and a mystery to solve. How do you reinvent one of the world's best-loved whodunits for a new era? Kenneth Branagh, the director and star, above, decided to transform the character of Poirot, Christie's idiosyncratic Belgian detective, into a dashing man of action. It took 9 months to design his truly impressive mustache. Angelo Carconi, European Press Photo Agency 9. Pope Francis has a message for Catholics: put down your smartphone during Mass. At some point, the priest during the Mass says, "Lift up your hearts." The pontiff remarked during a general audience at St. Peter's Square this week. He does not say, "Lift up your cell phones to take pictures." Blank. Metropolitan Museum of Art digital composite by Katarina Jeb 10. Finally, the Costume Institute of the Metropolitan Museum of Art announced its largest, and possibly most provocative, show ever. Its blockbuster 2018 fashion exhibition will be Heavenly Boss Fashion and the Catholic Imagination, featuring ecclesiastical garments from the Vatican, works from the Met's collection and designer garments inspired by Catholic iconography and style. Above, works by El Greco and Cristóbal Balenciaga. Beauty has often been a bridge between believers and unbelievers, the lead curator said. And just imagine the Met's Gala in April. The annual fundraiser is famous for its wild red carpet, which draws on the theme of each year's big show. Have a great night. Your evening briefing is posted at 6 p.m. Eastern. And don't miss your morning briefing, posted weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern, and your weekend briefing, posted at 6 a.m. Sundays. Want to catch up on past briefings? You can browse them here. If photographs appear out of order, please download the updated New York Times app from iTunes or Google Play. What did you like? What do you want to see here? Let us know at briefing@nytimes.com.